Who was the first president of the United States? George Washington was the first president of the United States. He served from 1789 to 1797 and is often referred to as the father of his country for his leadership in the founding of the United States. Which president used the Emancipation Proclamation? Abraham Lincoln used the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863. This executive order declared the freedom of all enslaved people in Confederate held territory during the American Civil War. Who was the youngest person to assume the USA presidency? Theodore Roosevelt was the youngest person to assume the presidency at the age of 42, following the assassination of William McKinley in 1901. Which president reserved the shortest term? William Henry Harrison reserved the shortest term as president. He was in office for just 31 days in 1841 before dying of pneumonia, making his presidency the shortest in USA history. Who was the only president to serve more than 2 terms? Franklin D. Roosevelt was the only president to serve more than 2 terms. He was elected to 4 terms and served from 1933 until his death in 1945. Who was the first president to live in the White House? John Adams was the first president to live in the White House. He moved in during the fall of 1800 while it was still under construction. Which president is known for the New Deal? Franklin D. Roosevelt is known for implementing the New Deal, a series of programs, public work projects, financial reforms, and regulation enacted in response to the Great Depression. Who was the only president to resign from office? Richard Nixon is the only president to have resigned from office. He resigned on August 9, 1974 due to the Watergate scandal. Which president led the country during World War II? Franklin D. Roosevelt was the president of the United States during most of the World War II, leading the nation through much of the conflict until his death in 1945. Who was the first president to be impeached? Andrew Johnson was the first president to be impeached in 1868. He was impeached by the House of Representatives but was acquitted by the Senate and remained in office. Which president was a former actor? Ronald Reagan was a former actor before becoming president. He starred in numerous films and television shows before his political career. Who was the first African American president of the United States? Barack Obama was the first African American president of the United States. He served from January 20 of 1009 to January 20 of 1017. Which president is associated with the Square Deal? Theodore Roosevelt is associated with the Square Deal, which focused on consumer protection, natural research conservation, and controlling corporate excess. Who was the only president to never marry? James Buchanan was the only president who never married. He was a lifelong bachelor, and his niece, Harriet Lane, served as First Lady during his presidency.